What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video I am going to help you if you have a broken metabolism. Now, what do I mean by broken metabolism? Now, your metabolism is basically the driver for how many calories you can burn in a day. You know, you want your metabolism to be working fast. The more it's up to speed, the quicker it is, the more calories you're going to burn at rest, let alone, you know, when you're actively training, doing cardio, etc. So if you've got a broken metabolism, what I mean by that is your metabolism's in the ground. You know, you're hardly eating any food, you're doing loads of cardio, and you're just not getting a response out of your body. Okay, so there is ways we can fix this, and obviously I'm going to touch on those in this video. So if you're watching this video and you're new, don't forget to subscribe, because I want to be dropping more content like this moving forward. But let's get into it. So, number one, let's say you're a male, all right, and you're eating 1,400 calories a day, all right, which, you know, is obviously very, very low. And, you know, you're in a position where you're not getting any response out of the scales, you're not pulling body fat, you don't look any better, you know, you find it hard to stick to the plan. You know, your cardio is suffering, your training is suffering because your calories are so low. What you need to do, number one, is go against that. Now, what I would say actually is, if you're eating that low, for one, don't be eating that low, all right? Crank your food up a little bit more. Now, I know some people will look at that and say, well, that's not that much of a deficit anymore because you're eating more food, which, you know, mathematically, you would be correct. However, when you're eating 1,400 calories, your body starts to go against you, you know, or if you're eating less, or even a little bit more, you know, it depends obviously on you as a human being, but most people's bodies will start to adjust to this. Your body's a machine, it starts to become clever, it starts to understand what you're doing to it, and essentially what it will do is start to slow everything down, just because it wants to survive. You're pushing it to its threshold, you're pushing it as far as it needs to go, and your body is saying to you, fuck you, we're not doing this anymore. I'm going to hold on to body fat for as long as I fucking can. So we need to be clever with this approach. And again, use the example, you're eating 1,400 calories. What I would first off do is start eating more. Now, I know a lot of people would look at that and say, yeah, but if you're eating more, again, you're not creating that deficit, etc. Fuck the deficit for now. Don't even worry about that right now. There's more important things going on than your calorie deficit. Okay, you need to get your body firing and then make the deficit actually work, because at the minute it's not fucking working. So we need to make sure we're going against the grain to get it to work. And the way we do that, add in 200-300 calories. All right, now what you'll notice here is, because you're getting extra food in, you'll actually start to increase your NEAT. Now, NEAT is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. All right, these are the slight movements we make throughout the day, like even me moving my head here, waving my hands. These are slight movements that we actually subconsciously start to decrease really when the food is super, super low. This is why you see people that are dieting for shows and stuff start to become a bit like a zombie, because, you know, they're so flat, there's nothing there's no energy. The body is being clever, it's trying to preserve energy. So by adding an extra 200-300 calories in, you actually start to move more, and you don't even realize it. Subconsciously you start moving more. But also, one thing that's very important that you will improve on is your gym performance. Now, if you're dieting that aggressively and you're becoming weaker in the gym, etc., chances are that the weight that you've been losing might well be a little bit of muscle, all right? Now, in a deficit, you might well lose a little bit of muscle, depends how aggressive it is, etc. But if you're not hitting good numbers in the gym, or the numbers you were previously hitting, then chances are you're going to be losing some muscle. You're going to become weaker. And if you're losing muscle, this actually slows your metabolism down. So the aim of the game here is to add extra calories in, utilize those calories in the gym, start hitting it hard, you know, start trying to get some PBs again, start working your way up the weights, because essentially that's going to help build your metabolism. It's going to speed it up. So now you've got metabolism that's starting to work for you, as opposed to going against you. Now, you might look at that and say, but if I eat 300 extra calories, if I eat 75 grams more carbs, I'm going to gain weight. And if I'm honest, to start with, you probably will. But understand, yeah, if you add 300 calories in, 75 grams of carbs, you are not adding on body fat. Okay, it's going to be scientifically, mathematically impossible. A lot of the weight gain is going to be water retention. When we take on board carbohydrates, they go straight into our bloodstream in the form of glucose. This is instant energy. And then anything after that, any spillage basically, is going to store in our body. It's going to store in our liver, in our muscles, in the form of glycogen. Now, what glycogen is basically is stored carbs, like I've just mentioned, but these are the optimal energy source when it comes to resistance training or high intensity training. So when you go and you train, etc., your body naturally will pull from this, okay? And every gram that you take in of carbs, you're gonna be taking in around 3 to 4 grams of water retention. So if you take something very simple, let's say like a bagel thin, okay? Bagel thin, around 25 grams of carbs. So at the top end of that, you're gonna be bringing in around 4 times 25, 100 grams of water retention. It's gonna be stored, okay? This is intracellular muscle water retention, okay? So there's nothing to worry about if the scale does go up. It's just that your body's holding on to more water, all right? And that's a very important note to make, I think, because I think the fear of having more food and seeing that scale go up, we always associate it with body fat. But also this, on the flip side of things, if the scale drops, it doesn't always mean it's body fat either. Like if you lose 3 or 4 pounds overnight, that's not body fat. A lot of that's gonna be water retention. Some might be a little bit of body fat. Some might be a bit of muscle if you're going a bit aggressive. So whenever the scale drops, don't celebrate it like a mad win. But if it goes up, don't fear it like it's the worst thing on the planet. So that's what I would do, okay? I would monitor your weight, see how you're getting on. And what you'll notice is actually when your performance level increases and your metabolism speeds up, etc., you are going to be in a much better place in terms of, you know, the foods you can eat and the weight that you can hold on to. Because what you'll probably notice as well is after the first week or so, yeah, you might go up a little bit with the water retention that I mentioned. However, your body will start to adapt to this. Your performance level will start to go up. You'll start to boost your metabolism. And then what you'll start to see is a trend where your scale will actually start to drop down a little bit. And if that starts dropping down a little bit, good. You're moving in the right direction. But for then some people, they'd like that win and they'd say, right, now we can pull from that and let's create that deficit again. But then you're going to be running into the same problem that you was once in. So what I would actually do there, I'd add another 200 calories in, 300 calories in. Repeat the process, okay? And just keep going at it. Don't concentrate. And I would probably say even for maybe 3 to 6 months, just don't worry about losing loads of fat. Concentrate on the other end, getting the food on board, performing well, increase your activity. Naturally you will with your NEAT because you've got the energy now and you're not a fucking zombie, you know. And, you know, what I would probably say there as well is, you know, if you're hitting 10,000 steps a day, which I would suggest, you know, for most people is achievable, you're going to be improving your general health, your heart health, you know, cardio health, you know, mental clarity is going to be great because you're getting some steps in. So I would do all of that. I'd actually add in, if I was in that position, I'd add in probably 3 or 4 times a week, 15 to 20 minutes actual cardio. And what I mean by that is get your heart rate around 120, 130 beats per minute. And if you do that, again, you're going to be improving your general health. You're going to be in an optimal zone to pull body fat as well. Everything's just going to feel better, you know, because if you diet for so long, and I've been there, you know, and this is my advice of my own experiences, it's when you diet for so long, it just becomes shit. Like everything is fucking hard. You have no flexibility. You can't be asked to do anything. Your calories are so low that even if you want to go out and eat with friends, you can't do it because, you know, you go out for one meal. Most meals you go out for are going to be, and this is just a guess, maybe 1,000 calories. You know, if you're on 1,400, you're at 400 for the rest of the day. Like, it's just so hard. Now, again, this is me just using the example of a random number. You might feel like this at 1,800 because you might weigh a certain amount. You might feel like this on less, you know, because again, you might be a female who's going to be eating, let's say, less. But the aim of the game here, if your metabolism is fucked, is you can't keep bashing it. You can't keep beating your body because again, your body is a machine. It wants to survive. And if it's a game between you and your body, I honestly promise you, your body will fucking win. Like, it becomes clever. So you need to go against the grain. and going against the grain is adding more food in and then improving your sessions, because they're going to improve because you've got more energy in the tank. And if you've got more energy and you're having better sessions, chances are you're going to boost that metabolism and leave yourself in a better position to pull body fat long term. So you could even look at it as like a short-term loss for a long-term gain. That's probably the best way to look at it, really. So that's my advice when it comes to fixing your metabolism. Again, invest probably 3 to 6 months at least doing this. Don't worry about that scale weight. Chances are, if you're that low with your calories, you've probably lost a fair bit of weight anyway. But also, if you've been dieting for a long time, and I get this sometimes with clients where they'll join me and they'll say, Tom, I'm going on holiday, I want to diet. I'm like, okay, that's fine, let's diet. So we diet them into a holiday, we push things, they look the way they do, they look amazing, they feel good. But because their metabolism starts to slow down, they go on holidays, let's say to somewhere like Florida, they go there, they eat a load of food, their body's just fucking not used to it. So then they gain the weight very quickly. And then they come back, and then guess what they want to do? They want to go down the route of dieting again. And it's just this yo-yo approach, and you never win. You never win. So stick yourself into even a maintenance, I would say. Like even a maintenance, just stick in a maintenance and just concentrate on gym performance, building some muscle, fucking feeling good again. You know, because if you do all that, you're going to be in a much better position long-term to pull body fat without even fucking thinking about it. You know, and again, I've been there myself where, you know, I've dieted so hard that, you know, my calories got really low at one point, you know, where I was pushing it thinking, yeah, it's cool, I look a certain way, but actually I felt like shit, you know. So, you know, and then all I did over time is I done that, you know, my metabolism was fucked. It was literally in the ground. So all I did is upped it by 200 calories, didn't give a shit about the scales, concentrated on performance. Shock, I started becoming stronger. Shock, I started moving more. And then as my weight started to plateau and not gain anymore, I actually started to push more food in. But then also, what I then noticed after repeating the cycle is as I added 200 calories in, my weight started dropping over time. You know, so your body starts adapting, you know, whether you're going down your calories or you're creeping up, your body will start adapting. So then what you'll start to notice is once the calories are high enough, you then are in a better position to withdraw calories and get a response out of your body, because you've spent that time frame and that period pushing the calories up, building your metabolism up, and your body's back to where its set point would be. And this is why you see people that, you know, people that have never dieted before and say they're used to eating X amount of calories, whether that's from clean food, junk food, whatever. When they start pushing a deficit, it starts to work. But again, as you get further down with your numbers, body starts to become very clever. So the aim of the game, really, to break it down, you know, as basic as possible, is don't worry about losing weight right now. Concentrate on building yourself up, building some muscle mass, building your metabolism, increasing your food intake as often as you can. And once you're in a place where, you know, you feel good, energy's great, sessions are going well, you then have room to withdraw calories and get the response out of your body that you once used to get. So yeah, that's how you do it. So that there is my advice on what I believe you need to do. Let me know if you've got any other tips in the comments. But that works nicely for me, it works nicely for clients, and also it's meaning that you are the healthiest version of yourself. Hopefully that helped you guys. See you guys in the next one.